Good day. This video is about COVID, my COVID, knitting a V shawl, which is my go-to pattern, and emotion. So that's the life principle. So if you're interested, stay tuned, watch on. Dare I talk? My voice is a little bit different because apparently I have COVID, much to my surprise. I did everything. I've got 5 shots, the regular shots and the boosters, and I wear a mask when I'm working, and I don't know, somehow I ended up with COVID, much to my surprise. At first I thought I had a cold, and my husband went to work and he gets tested because he goes into seniors places and he gets tested every time he goes in. And whenever he's negative, okay. But yesterday, Tuesday, he went to work and he tested positive, and they did the test again and it was positive. So he came home and told me. So I said, well, better get the rapid kit out, and I tested positive. So here we are. But I think that maybe I'm over the worst of it. There was 2 days where it was really bad. One of those days I dreamt that I died. Great. So in the dream, some lady was looking at me, I'm dead, and she's looking at me saying, oh, she died, and she didn't get to go to Disney, but she was happy thinking about going. Anyway, the truth of that is that I am planning to go to Disney over Christmas, and for me, while I'm convalescing, this is like the perfect excuse to just say, to just knit. So I'm working on a V-shaped shawl. You start at this end with a few stitches, and you just increase on one side only. And once I reach 150 stitches, I start decreasing on the same side that I was increasing on. And I'm using 100% wool. Actually, it's a Stell wool, and it is 75% superwash wool 25% nylon, polyamide, made in Peru. It's hand-dyed. So I was like, what is hand-dyed wool? And so I watched some videos on dyeing wool. It was really neat. Anyways, and I'm using a number 4 millimeter knitting needle. And I think it's turning out pretty good. At first I just did a stockingette stitch, or a garter stitch, which is like knitting every row. And then I decided to do a knit and purl, which you can't see from that side. This is the back side. So garter, stockingette, which is knit and purl. And I think the colors show up a little bit differently. I don't know, but it's definitely softer than the garter, but the garter is more stretchy. Yeah, here's the garter, stretchy. Here's the knit, not quite as stretchy, but I knit to 130 stitches, and then I started doing knit and purl. And now I'm on the decrease. And when I get down to 130 stitches, I think that's the way it was. Anyway, I'm going to make each side match. So, and I love the colors. Green, red, gold. Good Christmas colors, so Anyway, what else have I been working on? A white sweater. I've got the sleeves done. And I'm working on the back piece. So it's pretty standard. This is a baby wool. I actually took apart some knitting that I had because this is the first sweater I will have been knitting in 40 years maybe. And I didn't want to buy expensive wool to knit a sweater. I just wanted to kind of try the pattern first. So I'm using an inexpensive baby wool. And this wool cost me, it was $24 and something per skein, and I got 2 skeins to make this shawl. And I'm wearing actually a shawl. It's just a bee shawl. It's my standard shawl. And I don't do anything really fancy with it. I will crochet around the edges because with the stockinette knit and purl, it does tend to curl on the edge. And so if I crochet around the edge when I'm done, that'll help it flatten out. When you do a garter stitch, you don't get the curling on the edge the same way. This kind of lays flat. Anyway, so and while I'm knitting this, I'm thinking about some blue and white wool that I saw in the wool shop. And so now I'm already working on my next project. At least in my head, I'm working on it. So anyway, just thought I would check in since I have COVID and I'm basically, apparently, according to the Canada health regulations, I am now past the contagious stage and I can go to work, but I'm still just waiting until my symptoms improve a bit. My work is part-time work with a greeting card company, so basically I'm not really working with anybody. I'm just opening all the packages and putting the cards into the pockets and displaying the product. But I'm taking some days off, and when I think when my voice sounds better, sounds more normal, I'll go back to work. I'm in a situation where I can take advantage of the fact that I can rest. One of the things they have said with COVID is, much to my surprise, it's really like a bad cold. Rest, plenty of fluids, and ibuprofen if you need it for pain. I've actually been taking some cold and sinus. I was taking Tylenol, but it's all sold out on the shelves. So now I'm using a Life brand, which is has the same effect really, and it's cheaper. So I will knit on and talk to you later. I was reading in my journal that emotions are here to enhance our life. Now, I've known this for a long time. They're here to enhance our life, not to take over, not to dictate a course. So think about that. You're in a situation and a strong emotion occurs. Let's say it's a potential emotion for argument. And you're feeling like, oh, I don't like what that person's saying. And your own emotions are rising up. And then you're thinking about what you can say back. Or For some people, they tell me they can't think of what to say in the moment. So, but it's after the argument has occurred, after the person's done their barrage, that they think about things, and then they think about what needs to be said or could be said or whatever. Sorry, it's my COVID. Anyways, the thing to remember about emotions, that they should be here to enhance our life. They make us feel better. They make us feel good. We're happy. Those are the great emotions. Other emotions, strong ones, can rise up, and there might be negative emotions, and we need to hold on to them. If you can harness them in, examine them, hold back on them, you may find that you actually have fewer problems. Because if we just give forward on some of our emotions, we can run into a lot of trouble. Somebody once said to me that when she and her husband argued, that what he said was actually a truth, even though he was saying it on the tide of an emotion, in the heat of the situation. She felt like what he was saying was truthful. And I disagree. I think that when really strong emotions occur, that the editing feature of our brain shorts out, turns off, the switch goes off, whatever. And it's just that not everything we say is accurate and true and right. And when there's a tide of an emotion driving some thoughts and vocalizations, it doesn't mean that that's bringing forth the truth. So we can keep that in mind, especially if we're having an argument with our spouse, that not everything that's said is truthful. Not everything that is said is an accurate representation of who I am as a person. It's the tide of emotion, it's the heat of the emotion, and the editing feature is not necessarily there. So, but let's lean on the good side. Emotions are here to enhance our life. And that is, think about Christmas morning. You're feeling happy and good, and the expectations are up, and you're enjoying, let's say, your children opening presents, or you're seeing somebody open a present that you've taken such great care to get or to create. You can experience good emotions. And I don't think there is anything else that needs to be said. Emotions are here to enhance our life. They better the situation. They help carry us forward. And negative ones need to be harnessed and pulled back a little bit and mulled over and thought about, and sometimes subdued. So think about that in terms of emotions.